Welcome back to the daily discussions. Welcome back to the dojo. I'm your host, Professor Hawk, and I'm glad you could make it. I'm glad you're tuning in. Right? Today's topic of discussion: in God we trust. Yes, in God we trust. But I don't want you to get confused or to get this topic misconstrued. This video is not about God. Yes, I believe in God, but this video is not centered around God. It's centered around this phrase, in God we trust, right? I had an epiphany today. I was thinking about money. I was actually going to title this video a whole nother topic. It was going to be black, white, or green. But in the pondering of that topic, I was thinking about the dollar bill. And on the back of it, or is it the front? Let's see. Yes. On the back, not the front, it says, in God we trust. On the back of this dollar. And I got to thinking, just because this video isn't about God doesn't mean I can't mention him. Hallelujah. Shout out to the Most High. It says, in God we trust, right? In God we trust. But it don't say, in God we serve. How about that? In God we trust. And I'm going to put it here so you can see it. This is about American money. Okay? In God we trust. That's what it says. That's what it says. In God we trust. So, I decided to do a little digging. Now, if you look closer on the back of this dollar bill, it also says, Annuit Coeptus. And it also says, Novus Ordo Seclorum. What the hell does this mean? It's a different language than English on American money. The predominantly spoken language in this geographical region of the world is English. Yes, English. So why is there Latin on my English money? Why is there Latin on my English money? Right? I didn't at first know that this was Latin on the back of this dollar bill. I didn't know this was Latin. So I did some digging. And I found out that Latin was the primary language of, you guessed it, Rome. Yes, Rome. So the ideals and ideas of our money that we use today was birthed from the culture, the beliefs, the philosophies and traditions of the Roman Empire. If you know anything about Rome, they were sexual deviants, for lack of a better word. Yes. They were quite out there. And if you've been paying attention, I've told you all that we are just living in a modern day version of Rome. Seriously, we are. We have the theater and we have the arena. You remember The Roman Colosseum, bred in circuses. I talked about that, right? The Roman Colosseum had the gladiators, the ones who would fight to the death against beast or man or whatever the hell they could come up with, right? Beast, man, and legend you had to fight against, right? But nowadays, our gladiator arena is the football field, the basketball court. That's where the gladiators of our time do battle, right? So, in this little bit of digging that I did, I wanted to know what these words mean. Because remember, the topic of discussion for today is "In God We Trust." But when I was looking at that phrase, it said "In God We Trust." I realized that it didn't say "In God We Serve," right? So look at this. Annuit coeptus. It translates, he favors our undertakings. He favors our undertakings, right? I don't know off the top of my hand what an undertaking is, but I have a feeling it's not something holy, or it's not something pure, or it's not something honest. And in order to confirm that thought, I'm going to go ahead and look it up right now. So give me 1 second. I got my handy dandy notebook right here. So I can go ahead and Google the definition. So bear with me, right? We're going to go ahead and Google this real fast. He favors our undertakings. Annuit coeptus. He favors our undertakings. What is an undertaking? Okay? What is an undertaking? A formal pledge or promise to do something. A task that is taken on an enterprise. Okay, I give an undertaking that we should proceed with the legislation. A mammoth undertaking that involved digging into the side of a cliff. Okay, an action catching over the passing undertake, commit myself to be take on, promise to do a particular thing, formal pledge. Okay, so basically, it's a form of an oath. You know what I mean? It's a form of an oath, an undertaking. It's a pledge to do something. It's a promise. It's an oath. He favors our undertakings. We pledge to do this, and he favors it. One thing I know about my relationship with God, he don't let us just do anything just because we say we're going to do it. That seems more along the lines of do what thou wilt. He favors our undertakings. But that's really for you to interpret. That's just the way I'm saying it. If you choose to interpret it a different way, that's entirely up to you. That's the beauty of belief. You're able to believe what you want to. Opinions are opinions. I deal with facts. Feel what you will about that. So, Annuit coeptus, he favors our undertakings. And Novus Ordo Seclorum, if you've ever been going down the conspiracy rabbit hole, you know exactly what this means. This means New World Order. New World Order. Now, I can close this book because I touched on all the things that I wrote down here. Those were my notes for this discussion, right? In God we trust. Sure. But why doesn't it say in God we serve? Why doesn't it say in God we serve? Is simply trusting God enough? I know it said that you must have faith the size of a mustard seed at least. But is it just trust? You can never have a relationship without trust. But why is it not serve? Why is it not served? That's what really made me question the money. Because this nation, America, whether you believe it or not, was built on the principles of faith. But I think somewhere down the line, things got twisted and corrupted and changed for the worse. I feel like America started out with the right idea, but it ended up getting bended and twisted by an outside influence. I don't know what that influence was, but we can clearly see if money is the root of all evil, why does it say, "In God we trust"? If money is the root of all evil, why does it say, "In God we trust"? Because in order to get money, the way the wealthy people get money, you can't serve God. I think it put trust on there purposefully, so it didn't say serve. And in all the years I've been living my life, I never really thought much about that statement until today. And I don't know what exactly it was that made me ponder that statement. But here we are. In God we trust. Novus Ordo Seclorum. Annuit coeptus. These phrases sound very dark to me. If it was to be a holy thing, talking about New World Order, you should be thinking about kingdom come. You feel what I'm saying? Not New World Order. No. If we truly trust God and believe in His word, you will be seeking first the kingdom and not worrying about earthly undertakings. You know what I mean? So, as you journey through life in your search of these greenbacks, these dollars, whatever you like to call this currency that we acquire day to day, remember not to trust in the money, but to trust in God. You don't have to serve God to get money, but you gotta trust God to get money. If you know anything about the scriptures in the Bible, it says even the demons believe. Even the demons believe. So it's only natural for them to say something like, "In God we trust." Because we always know that He's going to do what He said He's going to do. But what about when you serve God? There's certain things that you just cannot do. And if you're not someone who serves Him, you know nothing of the sort. So, with that being said, Professor Hawk signing out, Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. I hope you're waking up every day with a plan, a purpose, and a smile. And if you're not waking up with a plan, purpose, and a smile, hey, at least you're waking up. Now, I hope that you liked this video. And if it did something for you, if you learned something, if you gained something from this video, please leave a like. Because I know you liked it. Share the video. Because why not? Why be selfish? And subscribe. Because you came back too many times not to push that button. Trust me, I've been watching you. I'm joking. But seriously. Push that button.
Till next time, guys. Class dismissed.